Oh, it's probably muted. Okay, now I should be on. Okay, I'm starting up my stream. And I hope you can hear me because I've laid the headset down as opposed to putting it around my neck. That drives me crazy. I don't know what I did with them. I put them little, when I started streaming from the computer, I put them little microphones up. I don't remember where I put them. So I had to get out the old-fashioned headset, but I don't like wearing it around my neck. Would you wear my ring around your neck? I tell the world that you're my heck. I don't want to wear it around my neck, this headset. So I'll get started here in just a bit. I'm still setting up some things. Am I anywhere yet? Rumble? Am I on Rumble yet? I'm on Rumble, I see it. Okay, we're on Rumble. This is annoying, some of these sites to where you have to set them up, and I hear myself too. Let me go over here and get my phone, it'll make it easier. I see myself on YouTube, so I'm on YouTube as well. Gotta get Facebook and Twitter. I got Facebook, so it's now down to Twitter. Okay, y'all, I am live everywhere right now, recording for YouTube as well. So, that will cover YouTube, so I'm live everywhere that I'm at. I should be. I'm not sure about Trovo and D-Live. If I'm not, well, they can catch me at one of the other streams. That's okay. Kind of sounds dead tonight, because I ain't got no music going. See which feed I want to monitor. Guess I'll monitor Twitch. I'll tell you where I'm at right now here in a few minutes. Let me hear what I sound like. So I'm going to shut up. Let me hear what I sound like. So I'm going to shut up. Ooh, that fan's loud in that microphone. Ooh, that fan's loud. That's the bad news about having it to the computer. Right now I'm just using the computer as a recording device. You still hear me? Right now I'm just using the computer as a recording device. Okay, yeah, I heard myself. Okay, I'm going to get this thing started here in a minute. Sorry about the loud fan. I'm not turning the fan off. It's hot in here. I know some people don't like noise in the streams. They'll just have to tough it. Let's try this one. I'm not sure I've ever raced it before. Why does my computer sound low or something? Has that got turned down? I'm out of the sound thing. Hold on just a second. Well, it took a long time to set up there. That was ridiculous. Or if I put it around my neck, that'd kill some of that noise. Let me just go ahead and put it around the neck. You know, I don't want to wear it around my neck. Boy, I can hear it in the speakers. Okay, there we go. Let's hear what I sound like now. Okay. Been on 14 freaking minutes to set up. That's ridiculous. I think I'm just gonna not do everything. It's fun to do everything.
Clear the pit, hammer down.
Some of them sites are just too crazy to have to set up. You have to go individually set up Twitter. You have to go individually set up Rumble. You have to go individually set up Facebook, or I have to. Only way I know to do it. And then YouTube, I've been doing that way lately too, even though I've got YouTube over on Restream. I'm not using Restream. So I have to set YouTube up as well. So it's a pain. $13 minutes to start up. Oh, let me check my screen. Oh yeah, I'm right. I'm right. Because I had a screen up on my recorded version for YouTube. But I'm looking at that screen. So we are technically everywhere tonight. I forgot all the sites. Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, D-Live, Trovo, Hopeful. If we're not, we are at Twitch, we are at YouTube, we are at Facebook, we are at Twitter, we are I know about those. I no longer have the D-Live and Trovo app on my phone because my phone got deleted some space. I had to delete a bunch of stuff and take it out. It needed a data to take its update. So I don't have those apps. I would normally log into those apps instead. Because I don't have no team, I don't have no team of people. I'm a one-man band. I have to make sure everything's working myself. And just to stay on the safe side, we're not going to discuss anything that I can't discuss, but you can check my podcast out for that. I brought back the radio version of the podcast today. I'm not sure to be daily. It may be weekly. Then I'll do videos every once in a while. I'm going to tune back on podcast. You realize I spent 7 years of that for worse or off today than we were 7 years ago when I started. Let's see, is it 5 or 7? Let's see, I started in late 16. So how many years is that? 5, 6 years? It's 6. We're no better, indeed we're worse. And I better hush it. So I'm going to probably kill back on the podcast. I still do them. Because too many people want you to shut up. Now the thing about this, oh I can't talk, well I'm just going to shut up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm recording this thing for YouTube. So I'm going to leave the stream, and I'll say what I'm going to say off screen.
is he slowed down. He's going to be pitting. Car outside. Slow down. Time to go now. One lap to go. Concentrate. Give us all you got. Back it down, back it down. All right, we're going to see where that puts us on the starting grid.
Okay, there we go. We're back, I think. I think I'm back live. I qualified at number 21 at 22 minutes. Now we're going to do the full race. And we are Miss Christine, my GTA character.
Almost ready.
My jcbw-tv. Now she's a racing character. NASCAR. And remember, she don't play good either. I'm going to be careful of that. I'll try not to make her so
Car there on the inside.
Oh, yeah. I'll try not to make her so losing her spot. She's losing her spot anyway. Let's see if we can get her up here. You know, she's a mean bitch. She's around people. She runs over people. We'll have to tone her down some for NASCAR because she used to be on the top.
Still there.
She was way up there because she started crashing. She's way back here at 19. What's so bad is what I said on my off screen wasn't really that bad to get it. It would have been enough to get my screen struck. It's ridiculous that we're living in this. I'm glad people like some people are fighting.
Here we go.
Because you know, we're not supposed to be like this. This is China. This is the former Soviet Union that I learned about in school. That's what we're going through right now. And I already cut the feed again, so I'm going to say something else. But I'm racing right now, so we're going to concentrate on the race. This ain't right, y'all. This ain't right. I mean, even if you disagree, so what?
White flag, big driver.
At the end of the day, it's just some man's opinion on that.
Outside. Clear eye, bud.
If you're not calling for anything, if you're not calling for any harm for anything, it's just an opinion. It's number 18 now. What does it matter if everybody agrees with your point of view or not? I don't care. I don't care about anybody's opinion anyway. I don't ask for you. I make my own mind, and I don't care what anybody else thinks.
Got one down low now.
And I don't ask nobody to believe like me. She's 19. She got up a couple. That was good. Now, I'm going to say what I was going to say. Okay, we're going to get this thing started now. Let's see. I may just take some regular races now. What was that? Did I continue or... I don't remember. I don't think I continued or... I don't think I'm in the season right now. If I remember correctly, I'm not in the season. Let's make sure I'm still working or I can hear myself. Well, I'll have to wait because it's still in the motors there. So she raced one there. She's got 0 wins. Okay, I'm going to go back to the Meister so she can use her car. We'll race for the Auto Club. Let's make sure I can still hear myself. Am I talking? Let's make sure I'm still working or I can hear myself. Yes, I can hear myself. Okay, here we go. By the way, my YouTube audience, I love y'all. Keep sharing and watching my videos. And if you really like me out there, subscribe to my channel. Both of them. The podcast and I get views on my podcast too. If you like my YouTube channel, subscribe to it. Share it. I really appreciate it. I get more love at YouTube than anybody. Thank y'all.
Okay, get back in there. Let's go.
I love y'all YouTube, I really do. You don't have to sit and watch my videos, really.
Stay high up here. All clear.
I'm just a little slow out here. I don't even do this for a living. Some people are doing it for a living. I don't. I'm scared to rely on it because of my health. I can't go on at a certain time. I have to go on when I can. A lot of times I'm on at this time. But I was always up at night. I don't sleep good. But even that I can't tell you where I can be on. I can't schedule myself. There's been times I took off from the podcast and I just told people I was taking a break. But I really just didn't feel like doing it. Of course, I guess it was a break. I really appreciate anybody who watches my videos. It takes time to listen to what I'm saying. You know, Jesus had his 12 disciples. You know, Rodney, he was making a sermon about that this week back there. He said that's what you need. You don't need a crowd. Crowds are fickle. They go with the flow. The same crowds that lined up to him and listened to him were the same crowds that screamed over there on the other side, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" So Rodney's right with that. Yeah, it might feel good to get the crowd. There's more than a crowd. Jesus had his 12 followers that went out and made a real impact after his crucifixion. And people are still hearing about that message today. It hasn't faded away like the Roman Empire wanted it to. You know, they was working overtime, bending over backwards, creating lies. It's like they just, well, they just got up. I should probably just go off and get off the podcast, off the stream, but I won't. They did everything to kill that little message that Jesus was giving, and it didn't work. 2,000 years later, there's churches, there's mega churches preaching about it. You may not agree with the mega churches, but they're that, well, they used to. COVID took a lot of it. Preach in the name of Jesus.
You got room.
And I'm even talking about him tonight. Somebody who's probably worthy of mention. You know, I need to get past that. We're done. Paul was the chief sinners of sinners. He was standing there with Stephen. When God and Jesus, God the Father and Jesus were standing shoulder to shoulder. Jesus was his right side, I believe. Watching Stephen come to heaven. You know what they was also looking down upon down there? They was seeing Stephen. They was also seeing Saul of Tarsus standing there watching him get killed. You know what they said there and there? And it's not written. They didn't write this off. You know what they said right there? They was talking, they was standing there, they was looking at that. They said, "You see him there?" I can hear it. I can just see the picture like if you was watching a movie. I'm not adding to the Bible. I'm just giving you an opinion of what I can see with that picture. And Stephen standing there, Saul of Tarsus is standing there. They even described that in the book, about how he's standing there. They make a point to point that out, that he's there. And so is God, so is Jesus. And yes, God the Father has a body. You hear all this stuff about him not having a body. That scripture alone, just go get it out and read it. Go read about Stephen in the book of Acts. God is standing there beside Jesus at his shoulder, and they're watching Stephen come to heaven. But guess who they're also seeing? And guess what Jesus done in the next chapter? He went to him on the road and he said, "Stop. Why are you persecuted?" When God the Father and God Jesus was looking there, King Jesus and God the Father were standing there looking at Stephen coming home from being killed for what he was saying. Because he was just talking to them. He was telling them what they did. They didn't want to hear it. That they were gnashing their teeth and killing him. All he was doing was telling them what they did. And all he was also doing was telling them what God did. All the way through. All the way from Abraham. Even before him. He didn't talk to him before then. He just said God tolerated their ignorance back then until he introduced himself to ignorance. He tolerated their ignorance. But then he decided to introduce himself. And he said, "What did y'all do? Y'all rejected him the whole time." And they got mad. They got mad at those people. But God the Father and God Jesus, King Jesus, they were standing there. Whoa! Listen to him. He's glorifying us down there. Listen to him. And when they were killing him, they saluted him and stood up. King Jesus and God of the universe. Let that one sing. King Jesus and God of the universe were so honored. And he was telling them people exactly, and he wasn't backing down even though they were going to kill him. And then Stephen looks up and he sees them standing side by side and one over the shoulder. I believe Jesus might have been a little behind him or right by his shoulder. It's in the Bible. He's on his shoulder. He's beside him. King, God the Father, and Jesus are looking at him as he's coming home. But they also see Saul talking. You know what they said to themselves? And this is what I take from reading it. They said, "Look at him. Guess what, Jesus? We're going to pick him as the guy that spreads the gospel to the Gentiles. That very man there, yeah, he hates us. We're going to turn him around. He's going to be the chief sinners of sinners. So it can be a example for the people who feels like they're not worthy." You see that? That's where that fits in. You see, that's what he's about. He did. He enjoyed it. He ripped them apart. He killed those Christians. And he enjoyed it. God the Father and God Jesus decided he's going to be the chief sinner. We picked to spread the message to the Gentiles. And not only save my people, but all my people. That was King Jesus and God. I'm telling you, I get that from reading. That's what comes to my mind when I read it, when I listen to it, when I play it on my audio book, or let the reader read it to me. I got both. I got this audio book that was recorded in 1984. I got one even older than that. But I don't know what happened to it. I think it was in the 70s. It was Gregory Peck. Oh, I love the Gregory Peck. I hate I lost that thing. Oh, he might have been 84 too. He just seems like it. It's like that thing Radji was talking about this weekend about them getting there and thinking he's older than he is. I think that book was 84 too. I'm pretty sure it was 84 too. He had a beautiful voice to read the Bible, Gregory Peck. That was the first audio book I ever had. Read by Gregory Peck. My favorite Bible. And you know, he was also an Antichrist. Oh my God. I used to look. Johnny Cash had one too. He had that little reader, the pocket reader. Oh, bury me night. Mr. Johnny Cash. I'm going to tell you all my favorite gospels. Listen to it. I'm talking about music. Elvis Presley followed by Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash number 2. And I'll listen to everything else under that. Elvis number 1, Johnny Cash number 2. Everybody else under that. But I'm gonna tell you something. People like making fun of riding Howard Brown and all this stuff.
Top 3, use it if you need.
I will tell you one thing. I bought one of those gospel CDs. And I'm gonna tell you, I can put that thing on, and I can play that thing. No matter what I'm going through, that CD will lift me up. I hadn't played it much because I ain't played real CDs, and I need to rip it. I need to actually get it ripped in my library. The problem is I don't have a built-in drive anymore, and I have to hunt up the drive, and I've got it packed up somewhere. Back in the old days, you had I can do it easily. It's on the old Apple. I got a drive on it. I'm gonna get out and rip it on the old Apple, and I can save it to a stick. That's what I'll do. Thank you, Jesus. He told me in real life. Well, you got that apple. He said that in my brain. Well, you got that apple. He did. I kid you on night. That come to me. Yeah, you got that apple. It's just like it. It's like, woof. You got that apple. I don't have a disk drive on these newer computers today. None of them do. My older one that had one tore up. But I got the apple. He threw that up. I'm telling you. It's just like a woof. He said, well, you got that apple.
Possible.
I'm going to rip that CD on my apple. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Well, you got that apple. That was
Time to go
funny.
now.
It comes to me in my brain just like that. It's like it was speaking inside. Well, you got that apple. I'm telling you on real time what just happened. Now we're prepared to qualify. You see, he talks to you. You just gotta listen. Sometimes he even yells at me when I'm bumbling. But you really need to get quiet. You see, that's my biggest issue. I don't stay quiet. Even when I'm sitting around something, I'm usually listening to music or something else, something going on. We need to get quiet. We need to listen. Yes, sometimes holler above the noise. You know, he was hollering above an engine and me talking. He said, well, you got that apple. It's an old apple. I like that old apple. Before this computer, it was my favorite computer. This thing out there did it. Thank you, Jesus. I do got that apple. And I'll rip some other CDs too that I've got on CDs I bought lately that I don't have real. I was just worried about that the other day. It took me talking about gospel for a minute. So he didn't care about that old. He didn't care about that rock and roll junk, but he cared about riding. That's okay. He didn't care about that rock and roll junk. He didn't answer me when I was thinking about that. I was thinking, wonder what I did with mine. I'm telling you, the other day I got some CDs. I got a new Buck Cherry CD I bought on the CD. And I've got several other CDs I bought. And I was thinking, wonder what I did with my burner. I don't know what I'm doing with it. But when I mentioned ripping that Rodney Howard Brown CD, he said, well, you got that apple. I know Rodney would love that tale. He would so love that. I need to send it. You know, he's got that place where you put the testimonies and all that. I need to write that in and tell him about that. He'd love that one. Because I'm telling you, that's exactly how it was. But yeah, the 2 days ago, I was wanting to rip my Buck Cherry.
Smart. Keep your head on straight. Are you ready now? Green's out. Let's go.
He didn't yell at me about the Buck Cherry CD. But he yelled at me about the...
Careful. Still there.
I bought it when it come out. They put out a new album. I think it was on last year sometime. They put out a new video. I need to check and see. I pre-ordered it. And it came in the mail. And I bought both the vinyl and the CD. I remember now. I wouldn't be able to do that now. I don't have that kind of... that was for my shut. I got to shut. Got to shut up. That's just before everything went. I pre-ordered both the album and the CD. I wanted the record for Keith. I got the CD to play. I didn't have no Buck Cherry record. I wanted a Buck Cherry record. I got 2 Hinder records.
Still there inside.
It ain't none of those.
Car on the outside now.
I got.
Alright, you're clear there.
I never did get any of them in Austin.
Hold your line, got one inside.
Now, if he starts putting out records, though, I'll get this record. I'm gonna get me a record in Austin. Hopefully, he'll do some live demos on there. Like a live version of Get Stoned or Wilson Reed, or even some of the others, some of those he likes.
Still there?
You should know that now. You don't have to ask them what they want. See, here's the thing about a band. This is the thing about bands and single artists. Like, he could go on there and pick any of those Hinder songs he ever wanted to play live. He could play them. And you don't have to ask them. You know what I'm saying?
All right, you're clear.
Like, if there's a song he wanted to do live, he's now independent. They're the same way. They can do what they want to do. So they don't have to contend with him. I look at it that just 2 of my favorite bands have come through out of morning. That's how I look at it. That's why I root for Austin Winkler, and that's why I root for Hinder. I love both. Even though I'm gonna tell you, Austin Winkler's the singer that I like more than anything. But my favorite 2 live bands to see is Buck Cherry. And if Austin ever starts touring, he'll get in there as well. We'll go see him. We done seen him once in a house, probably. That was the funniest experience. Me and Mama and her, my sister, we were discussing. We thought we'd actually gotten in the wrong place. Finally, we bumped into some people back and forth. Here's the right place. Number 5. Number 5. It's a big old mansion. Yeah, we thought we was at the wrong place. We thought, you know, GPS does that to you. Yeah, that Rodney Howard Brown CD, I can put that on and it'll lift me up. It's a whole service on a CD. And back then, he sort of played a style that was recorded a few years back. Today, their music's more popified. Like, I can't explain it. I guess they just tweaked it with the times, you know. Back then, it kind of had a southern twang to it, and I kind of like southern twangs in my music. So I tend to like that Rodney Howard Brown CD over even watching the services. Because it's kind of timed. The music had a more of a southern. I kind of like, you know, I like southern gospel. I'm a rock and roller. I am a rock and roller. And I do have some rock bands with the gospels that I like some of the bands like DC Call. And Skillet, which they branched off into secular as well. But I heard him speaking on that. He still sees himself Christian. You know, people criticize him and say he wasn't a Christian and all that. I was listening to him. I heard he said somewhere he still sees himself a Christian. But I love that song. Set my high, because that's what you have to do. Yeah, he's basically talking about fighting himself, the inner self. But at the end of the day, it's about them more Jesus than you. That's one of my favorites, and it was one of my favorites in my early days. Like after I became a Christian, like the post-Nirvana days, because that got my attention. It's kind of grungy. It kind of looks like the video. I'm gonna tell you what their video looks like. It kind of looks like they took Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Stay on the bottom.
Now some change in it.
Top 3 easy to see it. Still there inside.
But as a young Christian, as a guy, a granger, that video got my attention. After I looked this on this one, man, he's making he actually did a show on it right now. I thought, well, I like the song anyway, so I'm gonna stick with it. It is, it's grungy. It sort of sounds like a grunge. Y'all know me, I'm into grunge, I'm into metal too. Grunge is like a cleaner version of punk. But it wasn't clean. Look at some of the stuff that Kurt Cobain wrote about. Look at some of the stuff that Chris Cornell wrote about. Even it wasn't clean. He had a song about the New World Order. And then you gotta shut up there. Gotta shut up there, but he was talking about a sinking ship. They better get out. Something's gotta drown! Yeah, down! Oh, you drown! I love that song. It's one of my favorites. When I was recording the New World Order song, I should have covered that one. You know, I picked a Mustang. I liked it all the way back when I first heard the demo. He finally put that out, by the way. He put it out too. He put it out twice actually. He put the actual demo. I got the demo somehow. I don't remember how I got it. I had it. Back in the old days.
Careful. Still there. Clear all around.
But he actually put it out on an album. I covered a version. My cover is kind of spotty. We was going to, I can't discuss everything, but we was going through some things back then. Tears were strolling down my face when I was recording. Of course, one good thing about it, it was kind of a lift up too, because his New World Order is basically speaking out against him. That's something personal going on in our family. And that very day I was recording that was recorded with tears streaming down my face. So if you ever hear my New World Order,
keep getting better.
I was crying that day I was recording that. But I'm not crying right now. I'm fighting. We had some issues going on. Some things in the family. Boy, I was sad that day I was recording that. Sad. Tears were streaming.
Careful. Still there. You got room to clear.
I had my mind on what was going on and recording the song. So it could have probably been a whole lot better if I hadn't been so emotional. But that song, indeed, I can listen to it and it put me back to that memory. Of what I was going through. All my songs are like that. I can always remember who they was about, what they was about, when I recorded them. Like now, I got this one called Pride Cometh. It was actually about 3 or 4 different people. I mentioned a he in it, but there was one she. There's this little fat nurse. She's a little fat nurse. And she started going on about me being fat. My mama eventually told her, said, lady, you're one to talk about him. You're fat yourself. My mama actually told her that. And she said, you're short too, and that makes it worse. She said, at least he is 6 foot tall. That's why she didn't like it either. Oh, it made her mad. She's a little fat type. 4 foot tall, I kid you not. Shorter than my mama. A dwarf. A little fat dwarf. And she was being mean to me. I mean, just mean. And I finally told her, I said, lady, I'm not here for you. The doctor that I went to didn't have a, because y'all know I told you I was bigger back then, and I was. I was trying to work on it. I was there trying to find out what was freaking wrong with me. And the doctor that I was at, his weight scales only went to 300 pounds. And he sent me to the hospital. And this little fat nurse goes out. And she starts in, throwing off on me. Finally I said, lady, I'm just here to wait. I'm not here to listen to you. My mama finally told her, said, you're fat yourself, lady, and you're short. That makes it worse. She was. She's 4 feet tall. She's littler than my mother. Mean little thing. Mean little, I kid you, mean. That's also sort of, and I got to shut up here, but that's sort of what you talking about. It's about the same kind of situation. Just different people. The same kind of meanness. The same kind of meanness. And then they try to say I'm mean. And I'm just talking, I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm just saying, from the song's point of view, the same kind, that's what I'm talking about. They're sitting here throwing all this stuff about you, but yet you can turn it around and look at them and see that they're throwing off on you for the things that they don't like about themselves. That's really what it's about. People call me mean if they want to, I don't care. Call me mean. I don't play nice games. She was really, I'm telling you. And she was cruel to me. And I was at the doctor trying to find out what was wrong with me. And it wasn't fat. It was other things. And eventually come out that, yeah, I had a spine issue. That's what the doctor did find out after he got the x-ray. But he wanted to know how much weight. Back then I was only 3. I had gotten bigger. I was about 340, 345. I didn't gain that till a few years later. 383. That was after I got to the point where I couldn't walk and found out about the neurological. Of course, my neurologist already told me earlier. She just didn't tell me exactly what was wrong with me. I went to one years ago about a situation that popped up. She told me that I had a neurological. We found out even more about one that was in it now. We found out that my family, he had the same issue. And he said, Philip, you need to go get tested. You sound exactly like me. It runs in our family. It's about the leg, where they don't want to hold you up for a long time. And it's night to hit weight. Because like I said, that lady back then told me, she said, you're never going to change. Don't get obsessed with that. That's why you're wanting to lose weight. Don't get obsessed. That's what she said. She's a Romanian. She had that accent. Do not get obsessed with that. If that's why you're losing your weight, stop it now. I got a guy skinny. He's skinny. He's got the same thing as you. And he's in worse shape than you. Well, I got that way in 2006. I got work out hard to walk at all. Yeah, I was trying to find out what was wrong with it, and that little mean thing was going on. She was one of them. There's 2 other guys. One in real life and one on the internet. So it was about 3 people, even though I was talking about one. See, sometimes I do that. I'll combine, write a song about several people. She was mean as a snake. I kid you not. Little short fat thing. Mean as a snake. I say don't judge people is what I say. You're not in no position. You don't know their walk. You don't know what they're going through. And I mean that way myself. Right? If you hear me throwing off on somebody, it's because I've seen them do something. I heard them say something that they couldn't say. Because I'm going to turn it back around. If I see the same thing in you, I'm going to turn it around on you. I don't judge people, y'all. I don't even judge people on that Christianity stuff. You know, like the people passing by the homeless. You don't know that person. I've seen times where I had to rake and scrape money just to buy a piece of food. You don't know that person's situation. You ain't no position to judge.
All right, now.
You're not God. You don't see everything.
Here we go.
At least when he judges, it's a righteous judgment. That's what he was saying about the speck in the plane. Like I read some big posts, and I know they didn't mean no harm. He was sharing the gospel. He said he was sharing a post about a preacher who took a new job, and he decided to lay out on the steps, see which one of the congregation would. He said only three, and he went in there and lectured. He wouldn't want to lecture me too much. I just stepped up and gave him the. He's lucky I wasn't there. He said that's why people don't like me. I just stepped up and gave him the plank and the speck. All right, I said, buddy, you need to get your plank out of your eye. That's what I wouldn't care that he's a pastor. He ain't no bigger than me. We're all the same in Christ. I just said, you need to get your plank out of your eye. He was literally, he had him bawling and crying in the post. He was a preacher, and he played to be like he was homeless. He's in no position to judge them people. He don't know what their situations are. He don't see their daily lives. Now, the Lord he's talking about and trying to promote, he sees those things. He sees our daily struggles. But he doesn't. Who is he to judge? You know, that's why people don't like Christianity. It's those kind of attitudes that makes the Marilyn Mansons. The judgmental attitudes. That's what creates the Marilyn Manson. And they hate it when you call them out. Oh yeah, they hate it. You're in no position to judge anybody. It don't matter if he did call himself that. He didn't know the situations of those people in that church. Just because they didn't stop him and give him money and talk to him, that don't mean they were any harm to him. They might not even think anything about him at all. God ain't going to hold that against you. It's the religious people that hurt Jesus more than anything. He wasn't the one that gave that sermon to me, because I just stood up and told him. He would probably called me a devil in the church. Let him call me what he wanted to. Jesus already had that conversation. The speck and the plank.
We're going green.
He said, don't judge, for I don't. But if you do judge, use the right judge. There come a day he will judge. You'll stand before King Jesus. Yeah, he wasn't the one to play that game. I said, well, you don't know what I'm telling you. There is one time you got to break the street and build up money together, just straight up to buy a meal. Give him some money.
Got one down low now. All right, you're clear that.
He is in no position to judge anyone. Now, I know there's going to be people that get mad at this stuff. Get mad. I don't care. I'm telling the truth, you know I am. He needed Jesus to stand up to him, tell him about the plank and the bed. You're in no position to judge anybody else's faith.
You're all clear on the bottom, man.
We're all on our own levels and we're all on our own walls. And we all got to get there. Instead of tearing people down, you ought to help people get there. If you see them wrong, you ought to pull them over and not start criticizing them. That's why my daddy loved the church folks. Because of the same kind of pastor. And I asked him, I looked at him, why did you judge? I guess he was better off because I probably might turn out to them now and then. If religion had been forced on me and it hadn't come the way it came, I'd have probably rejected it. I reject everything. It probably happened out from my perspective. But I still asked him if he could have found it in that church. That's what I do when I hear old preachers and they start doing things that I don't like and get away from them. There's been many preachers I've listened to over the years that started to not make sense and I got away from them. You have to use your spiritual discernment. Now, if it's in the Bible, you have to be careful of that too. Well, sometimes they might be really preaching Bible. And it can sometimes make you mad too when it ain't where you want it. If we're not where we want, where God wants us to be, and He's faithful to that often to us. But you know, there's signs that you can usually see. When He's speaking that, you usually see it in your daily life. Like, say, something happened earlier that week, and then the preacher happens to touch on it that Sunday. If that happens to you, and that means it's God.
You got to call it high now.
Because there's no way that pastor knows that. He doesn't know what you're on. He doesn't see the big it's like that old preacher pretending to be a bomb, so see the people pass him up.
All right.
He still didn't test their spirituality, honey. They might not have been thinking nothing about it at all. They were trying to get to church.
You're clear.
They were going through their daily lives trying to get to church. He was in no position to judge those people. That's what I told him. You see, he had the power of persuasion with them people. He broke them. He broke them spiritually and made them cry. Maybe some of them did have something. Maybe there was a personal struggle. Maybe they really did look down on him. But now his little test didn't prove anything. And I'd have been the one that would have stood up and said something. And I would have. I'd said, you're talking planks and specks here, buddy. Them people wasn't thinking about that. They were trying to get to church. You're talking specks and planks, buddy. And you got the plank. He did. He had a plank. I don't care if he was a preacher. He had a plank. He had a plank. When he's using that as some kind of test to judge people's spirituality, it means nothing. Because like I'm saying, they're trying to get to church. They might not even looked at him. They might not even seen him. You know, there is such thing as that. I sometimes go through life in my thoughts. I'm preaching right here. I'm preaching a sermon, Sunday sermon service right here about the judge night. And sometimes people get some. Sometimes that is used wrong. There's people that use it to justify their worldly living. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about him going in there and berating that church about them not paying attention to them laying out there. They were trying to get to church. At least they had church on their mind. They wouldn't turn him. Now, if they'd turned him down and looked down on him or something like that, it's a different situation. But he wouldn't have gave that sermon to me, because I'd have stood up and said, plank and speck, plank and speck. He'd have called me the demon in the church. Do you know the devil could walk into the churches every day and be accepted? Do you know who would be thrown out? The one who told about the specks and the planks. They'd kick him out. Rodney Howard-Browne has a book about that too. He usually gives it away. He'll give it away for free. Seeing Jesus as he is or something like that. He gave me one. He gave it to many people. Seeing Jesus as he... How's it worded? I've got it in my Amazon. Seeing Jesus as he is. Just look it up. Rodney Howard-Browne, Seeing Jesus as he is, or as Jesus, or however he's got it worded. Seeing Jesus as he is. I believe that's what it's titled. I'm telling you, Jesus would be the most rejected man in this country right now. You think they hated Nameless? I'm not going to name him. The one they don't like. You think they hated him? If Jesus is here, that hatred would be nothing compared to what you see on everybody, including every other little man. Every other pastor you hear about out there that they throw up about. One of the worldly ones that the Christians like to pick on is Joe Osteen. Christians love picking on him. You think Osteen's hated? Just think if Jesus had a little ministry out here. Every one of them churches would be picking on him as well. Because he'd have said something to offend them. You know, that's why he likes the offensive people. That's why he goes after them and saves them. Because he likes them. Because sometimes people need to be offended. I think I'm going to end there. What time is it? 4 o'clock. Yeah, I won't have time for anything else. I played mostly the racing game. I was going to do a little GTA, but I went overtime. I'll see y'all next time. APS signing out.